Man, it's getting hot in Florida. um, so this is a video I want to talk about why you may not feel too good a lot of the time. And you got to realize a whole a large portion of the population has the same issue. Oh, I also I'm gonna start doing a Red Dead Redemption playthrough. Should I do it on this channel or should I do it on my other channel? It's up to y'all. Tell me what you think in the comments. So now, as far as why, the way I know a lot of people don't feel too good is I used to not feel very good until I dealt with a whole bunch of really difficult things in life. And I tell you what, um, the more shit you deal with, um, I guess it depends on the person, but for me, it kind of anxiety went away. I didn't have time for that shit. You know what I mean? When shit's real crazy, I didn't it forced me to tighten up in a lot of ways. But oh shit, I took notes for this video, but I left them. Hold on, I'm gonna come back. All right, I'm back and I got my notes. So now you got to realize that um, now I'm not saying that this applies to everyone, but there's a whole lot of people out there who think they are mentally ill when the reality is they're not mentally ill. It's that they've been gaslit and brainwashed. Oh shit. Hopefully my mic is picking this up. Into accepting a lot of unacceptable things. They've been taught a whole lot of unhealthy coping mechanisms. Um, so, it's hard to even know where to start with this. So basically, one of the main things is there's two kinds of people in the world. There's those that make mistakes and they can admit to it and they try to fix it. Then the other type makes mistakes and pretend they never made any mistakes. And in that case, so we've all done messed up things to other people. We've all lied, we've all cheated, we've all stolen at least one of those things. Most likely, we've all done all of those things. I don't. I mean, in my opinion, I'm one of the honest people I know. It's hard to even know if you're 100% honest because we've all been trained to lie to ourselves. So even to this day, I'll catch myself lying to myself. You know what I mean? But I try very hard not to. It's hard to really know yourself. There's this saying, it's like victory over others is impressive, but victory over the self is like the supreme victory. Sun Tzu said it or something. What that means is, it's very rare for a person to be able to, you know, find all the faults within themselves and deal with those things because most people, um, we're just we're raised in a society that doesn't do that. We're raised in a society that pretends everything is normal when it's not. So here's the thing with me. Every once in a while, and even to this day, this happens. It just doesn't happen very often anymore. But I'll be sitting there, and all of a sudden, I'll feel kind of guilty or bad about something, and I'm very in touch with like myself and my feelings and shit. So I'm able to trace it back usually to some thought or action where I did something messed up, and I'm like, damn, that was messed up that I did that. I need to never do that again. And so for me, that kind of it kind of goes away at that point and I feel better. Now I think what a lot of people do is they'll think of something like that and they're not even capable of thinking deep enough to trace it back to its source. But even if they were, they'd be like, "Oh, well, no, I had to do that," or "I wasn't wrong to do that," or you know what I mean. So it just stays with them. Like I guess what I'm saying is, a lot of people are carrying around a lot of baggage over a lot of bullshit. It ain't doing you no good. Telling yourself, "Oh, I was right. Did what I did what I had to do or whatever." it doesn't help. It might help your, it'll stroke your ego in the short term, and you can tell, here's the thing. You can tell yourself anything you want, but the truth is still the truth. So pretending that a lie is true does not make it true. You know what I mean? So a lot of people, instead of dealing with these issues, they pretend they aren't there. And so the issues stay, man. It's hot in here. Let me open my door. I'll cut this part out of the video. Unbelievable. There's a guy out here with a blower. I cannot escape people with blowers when I'm trying to film YouTube videos. I'm in the mechanic yard and there's a dude out here with a blower. Unbelievable. But so anyway, now you got to realize that we live in a society that lying is unhealthy. It does no one any good. Lying, nothing good can come from it. So you got to realize we live in a society that in a million different subtle ways tells you that lying is not only okay, it's normal and necessary. An example, and I've brought this example up before, but I'm going to bring it up again. Everyone lies on their resume. Another example, all of our world leaders, politicians, everyone, down to the local mayor, they all lie right to our faces. We all just accept it as normal. Everyone lies. People in relationships lie to each other. It's like if you actually, they teach everyone in relationships nowadays like, oh, well, you gotta play them just right, and you gotta play hard to get in this and that. I don't do none of that. I'm straight up honest with everyone I deal with chicks. What's funny is when I'm telling a chick that I'm probably not good for her, and I'm probably going to end up doing damage to you in the long term, they want you even more. And when I'm straight up honest with a girl and telling her like, yeah, I think we could probably make a relationship that lasts, it turns them off. But here's the thing. I'm 100% honest with the chicks, and if it chases them away, it weeds out the ones that I wouldn't want in the long run anyway. You know what I mean? This blower's just inching his way over to me. So instead of lying to myself or lying to other people, I'm as honest as I possibly can be, and that may lead to little hits to my ego in the short term, but in the long run, it is exactly what I have to do in order to get where I'm trying to be in this world. So let me go through my notes now and see what I have. Okay, so you know, and in a lot of ways, man, you got to be kidding me with this fucking blower. Hopefully, this is not interfering with the video. So here's another example of people just kind of being dishonest with themselves. The blower's really pissing me off. Unbelievable. Like, what are the odds that I'm gonna be filming a YouTube video and a motherfucker with a blower is gonna be 5 feet away from me in the mechanic's yard? Like, what are the fucking odds? I mean, he's had all day to do this. Yesterday. I mean, I'm only out here. I'm gonna be out here for like a half hour, an hour filming this video. As soon as I start filming, a motherfucker starts with a blower. So, anyways, here's an example of people kind of shorting themselves in character. So, I've seen a million people on the street where they will act tough when they're dealing with someone who does not want to fight. They're dealing with someone who is timid and afraid. And so this person will act like they're the hardest person on the earth and make that person back down. Now, when there's another type of person around who's actually like known to get down or whatever, that same person who is acting like a bully to the frightened one is now like kissing this guy's ass. And I'm thinking, and the frightened one was trying to be nice to this guy, and the bullyish type one will be out here acting like an asshole, and the one who was acting tough is basically kissing the bully's ass because he doesn't want any issues with him. Now, that's gonna hurt your character. That's gonna make you feel less self-respect, and It's, you may have stroked your ego by trying to pick on the weak one, but when the strong one comes around and you're acting like a beta, you know, what it's saying, what you're saying to yourself is you're only tough when it's safe to be tough. That's going to hurt your self respect. It's going to make you feel less good. It's just one example of 10 million of them. I'm trying to bring up examples so people can see it in themselves. And when I was younger, was I like that? Well, to be honest, when I was younger, I had such a messed up temper. I thought I could beat up everyone. And so I didn't really have that issue. But as I got older, I noticed a tendency in myself to like walk on eggshells around like people I considered to be dangerous. You know what I mean? But as I got older and I recognized that character flaw, I said to myself, I'm not going to be that way. I'm going to treat him the same way I treat him and the same way I treat, I'm going to treat everyone the same. I'm going to match their energy towards me. If they're being respectful and nice to me, I don't care if they're the biggest pussy on earth. I'm going to be respectful and nice to them. If they're the hardest motherfucker on earth, and they're being nice and respectful to me, I'm going to be nice and respectful to them. If they're going to be a dick to me, I'm going to return that energy. If it causes me to get my ass whooped, that's what it does. But what I'm not going to do is play a character depending on who's around me. You know what I mean? So, um, there's there's plenty of people out there who probably think I'm nuts because I. But here's the thing: I'm me. It is what it is. I don't even care if people think I'm nuts. I know myself. You know what I mean? So, this is why I feel good a lot of the time because I'm just me, bro. I accept myself. I accept my flaws. People are like, why do you believe in astrology and this and that? I'll tell you exactly why I believe in astrology. I am a Pisces, and there are characteristics of Pisces that I don't like. I don't want to be that. But the truth is, that's what I am. So, for example, a Pisces is like um, very sensitive and can be, like, I don't want to be a sensitive dude. I want to be a tough dude. I don't want things to bother me. But here's the thing, I'm a sensitive dude. So I don't want to be, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm not the type to be crying all the time and stuff. I'm pretty tough when it comes to that. And I get over things quick. I bounce back quick. But things do bother me. Sometimes I'll read a negative comment and it really bothers me. And so I get myself into these internet fights, which I try to avoid. Here's the thing. I am very much a Pisces. Realistically, if you calculate like all my zodiac signs, I'm kind of a Scorpio, I guess. Really, my Chinese zodiac sign, my deepest sign is like the equivalent of Scorpio. So really, I'm somewhere between a Pisces and a Scorpio. But realistically, I am very much a Pisces. Now, Pisces are kind of like they're kind of ditzy-ish, and it's true. I can be a ditz. You know what I mean? I believe what people tell me. I can be a fool like that. Um, and so, these are traits that I'm not proud of, but it is what it is. I am what I am. I can pretend to be something else, but what's the point? The true me is always going to come through. You know what I mean? As long as I don't um, there's people out there who they expend all their energy and effort to be someone else. You know what I mean? I don't have that issue. Now, to me, that's like mental illness, but it's such an easy cure. Here's the cure for mental illness: the truth. The truth sets you free. I don't care what the situation is. If you hate your job, it's not going to do you no good to pretend that you don't hate it. If you absolutely cannot stand your job, you're better off admitting that to yourself, and from there you can work on fixing it. Find a new job, or maybe cut down on your bills, figure something out. This is why I decided to be homeless and shit, because I realized I'm not willing to live the rest of my life this way, doing things that I can't stand doing, answering to people who I don't necessarily respect, or you know, I don't necessarily think they even know what they're talking about. So I'm going to spend the rest of my life 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, doing things I don't want to do, dealing with people I don't want to deal with. I would rather face that right now and go be homeless and figure something else out. I don't know when I was first homeless, I didn't know what was going to happen. Um, what the only thing I knew was that I wasn't going to spend the rest of my life dealing with that full time job bullshit and dealing with shit jobs and shit people. So for me, it was I would rather die. I would rather take my chances out on the street and die. Um, let's see if there's anything else in my notes. So, and here's the other thing. After dealing with these things that I am, I was afraid to be homeless, but after dealing with so these fears were holding me in line. After dealing with them, now I don't care what happens. I'm going to handle it with dignity. Anything that happens, I don't care what it is. You throw me out on the street right now, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be upset, but you know what? I'm gonna get over that real quick. I'm gonna get to work. I'm gonna get to building back up. It's that simple. I'm not gonna beg anyone to help me or to let me stay or beg for this or beg for that. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna figure it out and I'm gonna make it happen. If I'm with a chick, she don't like me, she wants to dump me. I'm gonna I'm gonna just accept that. And sooner or later, I'll find a girl that does like me. You know what I mean? So it's like I would instead of telling myself lies and living and being something I'm not, then I would rather deal with the consequences of being myself 100%. And that, I believe, makes me very mentally fit because there's really nothing you could throw at me that's going to have me bouncing off the walls. You know what I mean? I do get angry, I do have a temper, but um, I'm not gonna let I'm not gonna let it control me. Nothing. I'm gonna control myself. So, um, and here's the other thing: a lot of people go to these therapists and psychiatrists. Here's the way I see that situation. If they were good at their job, they wouldn't have a job. Now, I know I've got members of my family who have been dealing with issues. I've got friends who have been dealing with issues. They've got a psychiatrist and a therapist, and they're on medication and this and that. Here's the thing: they've been doing this for years, and nothing has changed. Because here's what the therapists and the psychologists and shit do: they don't try to cure you of anything. They don't go to the root of these traumas, and they what they do is they give you medication that covers up these issues. So the issues are still there. You're just too fucking high to feel them or notice them. Or, I mean, the fact that we live in a society that instead of curing anyone's issues, they just give them mind altering drugs, that is fucking insane. That is fucking insanity. I was arguing with someone on Instagram yesterday because I follow this Instagram account called I Am the Improbable Dreamer, and he says he's got a lot of interesting posts about the history of the world. Now, I think a lot of his information is um, probably not accurate, but it makes me think about things that I've never thought about before, so I follow the account. Anyways, so one of the things he put up yesterday, I forget what it was, but someone in the comments said, maybe you need to take your meds. And so I get on his comment and I said, maybe you need to take less meds. And then this dude starts getting all insulting and rude and bitter towards me. All I did was reverse his comment onto him. And he's being real nasty towards me. And I said, honestly, do you think a mentally healthy person would be this bitter and nasty to a stranger on the internet? Over all I did was said what you said. I just said it back to you. And then, and then I said, he was going off, this guy. And then I said, do you think that it's mentally healthy for you to be suggesting mind altering drugs to people? I mean, are are you a psychotherapist or something? Like, where, you're the you're the issue here, bud, not him. He's looking into things. The modern society that we live in is an upside down, insane idiocracy. The reason I follow the I Am the Improbable Dreamer account, at least he's looking for answers. At least he's looking outside the box. And some of his posts I do think are accurate, some of them not so much. Like, for example, I think he believes that some rock formations used to actually be living things. Personally, I don't believe that. A biologist or a geologist can tell a lot about rocks. If it used to be organic, you can tell. So, but that that doesn't, I do like thinking about these weird things, things that are like outside the norm. I find it interesting. I find that a lot more interesting than watching Mr. Beast pay someone $10,000 to hold their finger on a fire hydrant or something. That doesn't interest me at all. I would rather, yeah, I'd rather watch the grass grow. So, um, but it's a perfect example of someone who thinks they're normal. This guy coming at me with absolute vitriol. I'm like, you think you're normal? You think you're mentally healthy? And so here's the problem. So in our society, he probably is considered normal, but in my world, he's not normal. He's fucked up. He's perpetuating the poison. You know what I mean? And there ain't much worse than that. So, one of the problems in our society is most people are just so afraid to stand out that they just accept all the fucking craziness. Like I said, with the resumes, everyone lies on their resume. Um, when I was at one point, I was on the street. A friend of mine was trying to help me do a resume, and he's telling me to put all these lies on it. And I'm like, it felt so wrong. I had been living with hard truths for a while at that point, and I'm like, I had already been living on the street for a couple of years at that point, and I'm like, you know what? I'd rather continue to live on the street with the hardship than play this bullshit game and pretend to be something and pretend, I don't want to be a little puppet. I'm going to lie to these people to get this job I don't even want. And then, that's just the beginning. Once they've got me, what are they going to have me doing? More lying and cheating, stealing? Who knows? You know what I mean? But here's the thing, I see it as if I got to lie to make something happen, it probably isn't good for me anyway. You know what I mean? So I would rather be my own unique, maybe crazy self and accept whatever comes with that. And but here's the thing, I am at peace. Even when I was homeless, I was working out multiple times a day. I'm a high energy person. I got plenty of energy. I ride my bike far every day. I'm still trying to get this truck fixed. We'll see what ends up happening. I don't know what's going on with it. We'll see. Let's see if I missed anything. So, yeah, I mean, all I can really say is the truth sets you free. Well, what's the definition of insanity? And people try to argue this with me in the comments. I think Einstein said it. I don't know who said it, but the definition of insanity, according to what I heard, is people repeat the same thing over and over and expect a different outcome. Now, when I first heard that, I was like, that's not what insane is. Insane is when they're, bouncing shit off their head and they're, you know, they're acting like a crazy person. But really, if you really think about it, that definition is pretty accurate because if someone is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome, what that means is they are just pretending that the truth doesn't matter. The fucking blower, it just inching up to me. Come on, bro, blow your shit and get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, what is it with people and blowers? They just like They just go for hours and hours. They fucking love it. Are there any people who run like when I used to lay Zod and I had to run a blower, I would do it as quick as possible. I can't stand the loud noise of the fucking things. Like it's completely throwing me off, bro. Like I don't even know what I was just saying. Oh, the definition of insanity. So if you think about it, if the truth is right there and someone's pretending that something else is true, that's fucking insane. Now, here's the problem. In our society, we're raised to see that as normal. It's like an insidious teaching. No, that like they never just teach you outright that lies are normal, lies are okay, you have to lie. It's just it's it's done, the politicians do it, you're expected to do it to get a job, you're expected to do it to get a girl. All the red pill guys, they're always like trying to teach you how to play a girl and this and that. I'm thinking to myself, if I got to play all these games with a girl, I don't fucking want her. You know what I mean? Who the hell wants to deal with that? I'm going to be myself. If that doesn't work, it doesn't work. You know what I mean? I don't want to um, play mind games. I don't got time for that shit. You know what I mean? If I'm going to be doing all that bullshit, I would rather just have a bunch of shallow relationships where we don't even care about each other. Like, what I'm not going to do is live a lie to get a girl that I don't even belong with. You know what I mean? So, I really got to like get my car fixed and get out of here. There's too much annoying shit going on right here. Anyways, so um, I guess that's about it for this video. Let me watch it and see this. This has been this has been an interesting one. So at least there wasn't a wasp attacking me the whole time. But if if you're gonna take one thing from this video, take this. You're much better off just facing harsh truths than living lies. You know what I mean? Let me tell you something else. The more harsh truths you accept, the easier it gets. At this point, yeah, I still get hurt by things and this and that, but that pain is nothing. It goes away quick. You know what I mean? What I don't want is carrying around baggage of guilt or anything else. Anyways, let me get out of here before this blower drives me straight out of my fucking mind. I appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for the subs, likes, tips, comments. Oh, the Red Dead Redemption. Let me know in the comments if y'all want me to put them videos on here. I already started filming them. Or you want me to put them on my other channel. It's up to y'all. I don't care either way. So, I appreciate the Patreons especially. I got to go respond to a bunch of comments on Patreon. Appreciate the tips, likes, comments, subs. And so, yeah, I guess that's about it. Appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you on the next one. Everybody have a good one.